welcome back to another episode. I leave Bayona, head south to get to Portugal. I'm under sail for a full 5 minutes. Get to take down the Spanish flag for the time being, put up the Portuguese flag as I do enter into Portuguese waters, and make my way to Viana do Castelo, where I spend 2 nights. On the first morning I take a trek up this hill to a church. It was hard work, I get a bit lost, but it was totally worth it to get there and check out the views from the top.
Good morning, I am leaving Bayona. Today is Thursday the 14th of July. I was going to leave a little later in the day. There's meant to be some southerlies coming in sort of lunchtime-ish, early afternoon, that could have pushed me down. I'm only going to go to a place about 6 hours south, 6 hours at 6 knots. I don't think I'll be doing 6 knots. But yeah, I don't think that wind's going to come in until much later now. So I thought I might as well just motor. I'm going to be motoring anyway, so I'll head down there. It's kind of halfway between here, Bayona, and Porto. So I do this today, and then Saturday there's some good winds, southerlies. So I'll jump on them and just head the rest of the way down to Porto. I'm hoping the engine's okay today. I really am. That's one thing, I'm just on edge all the time when this engine's running. I think last time when I was coming down from Fistera, I mean, it was on for a good, what, 11 hours, and I think it was about the 6 or 7 hour point that's when it started getting the issues. So I've changed, I didn't change the filter, I took the filter off and looked at it, as you saw. Hopefully I've bled all the air out, so it should be good. I'm hoping it's good all the way down to this next port. I can't remember, it's Castello, something Castello. I'll have a look in a bit. In fact, I'll just write it at the bottom here. Just coming out of, as you can see, so that was the headland, the fort. I was round the other side in the anchorage back there. As I've come around and into the open bit, ready to go out to sea, I've got wind. So I've got all sails up, full sails up, and I'm doing 4.5 knots. That'll do for me. Engine's off. I wasn't planning on leaving until midday anyway, so even if I do 4 knots all day, I think it is due to drop. But while I've got the going, I'm just gonna go under sail, sit back and enjoy. Fun while it lasted for the whole 5 minutes. I'm hoping it's just the islands that I came down and around could just be in the lee of that, but at the moment I've got yeah, sort of 7 knots of wind. It's just not enough, so I'm back motor sailing for a little bit. I get past the lee of these islands. I've got to get past the cardinal mark anyway, a north cardinal mark that keeps me away from all of that business. Cardinal mark is just up ahead, if you can see it under the head sail. So as soon as I'm past that and into safety, I'm going to start heading south and see what wind I've got then, and hopefully turn it off. I'll be happy with 4.5 knots all day. I've got all day, so it's fine. Motor sailing, both sails up. Wind's kind of picked up. I've stayed offshore a bit. There's a boat, one of the boats next to me. I think he's a little too close to the land if he was hoping for any wind. Even I might be. There's probably more way out there, but I'm happy. Motor's playing ball at the moment, touch wood. So stick it as it is. I'm doing 7 knots with both sails up, engine on, and I was expecting to be at this next marina. I was sort of tied up by 3ish maybe, but at this rate it'll be slightly earlier, get some washing done, see what happens. It's quite nice. I bet he's seen my head sail up, and now I'm starting to gain a little bit of ground in him. Let's see if he puts his head sail back out. Literally 60 seconds after I said that. Just got the first engine flutter. Brilliant. Only 3 hours in with the engine on, 4 hours in. Just had a look at the filter. There is a bit of water in the bottom again, so now I'm wondering if there's water getting through, but hopefully when I get, maybe not this next marina, it doesn't look like there's much there, but maybe when I get down towards Porto I can get a proper engineer on and do some fault finding with it maybe. There's a job that I was hoping to have done a couple of weeks ago, should have been a couple of weeks ago. However, I'm finally there, I can finally do it, and it's something I've been excited to do, and that is put up the Portuguese flag. I'm just coming across the border now, so better late than never. Spain, Portugal, Espanol, Portugal. I don't know Portugal and Portuguese, but I've made it. Just crossing the border now, so that river going up through, that is pretty much the border. I believe the border is on the Spanish side, so I'm pretty much there now. I just have put up, as you saw, I've got my Portuguese flag. Unfortunately, I am dead into the wind. There is a wind now, but sod's law, it is right on the nose. So the mainsail's up, but it's just flapping around, not doing much. Bit of a shame really. I could tack out, I suppose, do a little bit of sailing, but with this engine I just want to get into the next marina and figure a few things out really. I wish I could take some footage and show you some nice Portuguese coastline, but it's fairly hazy, so you can't really see anything. Sorry about that, not a lot I can do. So I like learning things as I go. It's very interesting. So I'm very, very close to the wind here. You can see I've got about 25 degrees less. Any other time, if it was just sailing, that wouldn't work. It would flog the head sail. I think 35, 40 is probably the closest I can get to wind. However, when I'm motoring, I've just put the head sail out and I've managed to get about half a knot, not quite half a knot, maybe 0.3, 0.4 of a knot, but it's obviously better than nothing. And I've just been sat here for ages thinking, shall I, shan't I? And then I thought, well, just put it out and see what happens. So I'm glad I did, because it's just another thing I've learned, is that when you're motor sailing, you've obviously got the apparent wind that's going to help. Just wish I'd done that sooner. One thing I've noticed so far in Portuguese waters, I mean, I've not been in here very long, there is a lot of fishing gear, but they don't make their pots as noticeable as, let's say, the UK or even Spain, you know, bright fluorescent colours. These are just flags with white buoys. I'll show you. It's like a little minefield. You have to be very vigilant around here, which is kind of another reason I wasn't going to do any night sailing, especially on my own. It's more just because of the amount of fishing gear that's out. At least during the day I can do my best to avoid it. There's a bridge to get through this marina. I just phoned up and she said, beep your boat horn to get through. I don't have a boat horn, so there's a boat, luckily a boat in front of me, it's just gone through, so hopefully they will see me and leave the gate open for me. I'm right on the main road. This is a very strange, it's not even a marina, it's a dock. think the marina, I looked on Navily, there is the main marina further down instead of coming into that little place with a gate with a bridge. But I was reading on Navily that the draft 2 meters is not enough water depth in the other one, so I decided just to come in here. Unfortunately, it is next to the main road. I hope it doesn't keep me awake. I'll see what the weather's doing. It's just going to be 1 night, maybe 2 nights. I'll see how it goes. That's me alongside. I've got electric and water. I'm hoping that is included in the price of this marina. I mean, it seems like I'm right in the middle of everything, which is pretty cool. Steps are over there, but it's high tide, so I think I can get away with it just about. I've got a 10-minute walk right down there to get to the marina office. I'm going to pay up, just have 2 nights here, and then I don't know if I've got to give my ship's documents to them. Check into Portugal, actually. I never checked out of Spain. But the only problem with this marina, when it's high tide, the wall's right there. I just had some guy come down with his granddaughter taking pictures next to my boat. I don't know what the hell's going on. I think he was pretending that it was his boat. I'm not sure. Good morning. It is 10:30. I've been up for a while. I have washed the boat down. She's all sparkly. I wanted to get the boat jobs done because I am going to trek up this big hill today to go see this castle that looks pretty cool. But the next job, laundry. I later found out when I was checking into the marina office that that ship behind me is now actually a museum. It was an old medical ship from what I could gather. And as you can see, the tide has dropped massively, so there's no chance of just hopping the wall. When I'd finished my laundry to take back to the boat, I headed out, and this was my next mission, up the hill to that church. I thought it was a castle, it's actually a church. To get there, I had to go through the old train station to get across the bridge to get over the road. I've just walked up some of this hill to get to that castle. I think it's a castle, could be a church. And I asked in this car park, is there a, the way up? He didn't really speak good English, but in fact, he didn't speak any English. He said that I have to go down, from what I can gather, go down Shakira, which I now know is left. I think that's how you pronounce it. And then up, I think there might be a set of steps. So I found the tram. But after a little overindulgence at dinner last night, instead of a glass of red, it turned into a bottle, so I'm going to walk it. Definitely going to walk it. I think I might have just come into somebody's garden, I don't know. I definitely feel like this isn't the way. I'm going to persevere, as it's a long way back down. So I just found a wall with barbed wire fence, and on the other side is a set of steps that I should be on. There's a house behind me. I think I'm in somebody's garden. I'm gonna have to try and jump over this wall. Yep, that's the wall I jumped over. That's somebody's house. That's where I should have come from. That's where I'm going. I made it. I think I need to get my ass out of a boat and get some more cardio going on. Kill me.
This church is Santa Lucia, St Lucy, and it looks very old with Gothic styling, but it was actually only commissioned in 1904 and fully completed in 1943. I walked around the side and come across this really old little building. I don't know what it is, but it's old, so it's cool. Just walking around the outside of the church, you come across some really good things like this drinking fountain, and then you got this water fountain, which was a really nice feature. But the best thing was the view. The view is outstanding. You can see all the way south there, which is where I'm going to be heading in a few days, and then it was time to walk back down all these steps back to the boat.
Back to where I started. I actually got directions from a nurse in that hospital. She said Shakira left, so I went up there, asked the guy in that hut, because that looks like a car park, and he said come down Shakira, which means left, which is that way, and I went through that gate because I thought it was next to the tram line, but that gate goes to someone's house, so I've just come further down there. So I kind of zigged when I should have zagged. Ended up jumping over a barbed wire fence, but it's all an adventure. I love an adventure. I like making my own tracks. But yeah, that's done. I'm gonna go and have a coffee, head back to the boat, probably do a couple of boat jobs. Hey guys, so that's me leaving this place now, the Viana do Castella. I slipped the lines. There was a few guys in a boat in front of me who helped me, so I couldn't really film it. I just the wind's starting to pick up, which is great because I can sail down to my next place, which is just north of Porto. But yeah, so I wanted to get out soon before the wind picked up too much, and it was going to be a nightmare to get off the dock. So here I go, I'm out. As soon as I'm through this little weird thing again, the little tight little canal type thing, I wanted to try and get fuel, but I don't think it's quite for yachts, it's more for big ships. I think it's quite a tall wall from what the guys were saying, so I may just have to get down to in the next marina and fuel up down there. As soon as I'm out, I'll hopefully get the sails up. There's the fuel dock, way too high. I probably should have done this at high tide, but never mind. The fog was clearing in the harbour and over the town, but it's not cleared out here. Don't know if I like the look of this. I'll get out there, see what it's like. It's meant to clear through the day, so maybe I'll just get on my track on my chart plotter, and as long as I can see any fishing pots, then I'm good. This is a bad idea. I have got radar. Looks like there's a couple of ships off to my starboard. I am kind of heading that way, but if I can see them, they can see me. I've got AIS as well, but my AIS hasn't been the best recently. I keep getting targets and they drop. Hopefully I'm visible to everybody. Like I say, if not, I've got a radar reflector as well. I'm in two minds about turning back and going back alongside for an hour, maybe. I might do that actually, just because if this engine does fail, I don't know how close I am to rocks, so I might spin back round. Strange how it doesn't look too bad in here. Plenty of distance, but then as soon as you get out that harbour wall, it just drops. I mean, you can see behind me. I don't know if you get any depth perception on that, but yeah, it's just too dangerous. Even with AIS and radar, given the choice to leave in fog or leave in no fog, you know, I've got that choice. That's the good thing. I don't have to leave. So I'm going to go back in, tie back up, coffee, lunch, and see what happens in an hour or so. When I finally got to leave Porto do Castelo, it was actually a few days later. Stayed for a little bit more, had a lovely time. And then when I got to leave, it was more motor sailing, unfortunately. Just not enough wind. So you're starting to think that I've bought a motorboat, not a sailboat. Headed down to a place called Alexios, I think that's how you pronounce it, and stayed there for a couple of days. Good morning. I'm here in Porto Atlantico, Lexios. Very bleary-eyed this morning, but not because I'm going sailing. I found a surf break. Finally. It's been so long since I've had a surf. We saw it last night, so I'm going to head round today and hopefully there's still a bit of swell, but there's no wind. Last night the wind was on it. It wasn't the best. So I'm going to have a look. Well, this was the surf break yesterday. The swells dropped, unfortunately, but it was worth a shot. I'll look again later, maybe come back for an afternoon surf. The only problem is the wind picks up in the afternoon, so this was kind of blown out yesterday. But that place done a good burger. Good morning. I have left Lexios. I think it's Lexios. That's the port in the murky distance. That's Lexios area there. And there is Porto. I went to Porto, stupidly forgot my GoPro. I do apologise. Lovely little city. But yes, so I'm heading down to, I want to pronounce this one right as well, Figueira do Foz, something or other, otherwise known as Fig Foz. It's an all-day sail. Engines on, if you can hear that. I've got the sails up. I'm motor sailing, but there's meant to be some good winds coming in this afternoon. In fact, I'll probably end up reefing or maybe even dropping the main and just going on the head sail for the last couple of hours. Not really much to report. Like I say, it's just this miserable, little bit rolly. Coming from the stern quarter though, so it's not too uncomfortable. This is pretty much going to be it all day. Oh, how wrong was I? For those of you that watch my Instagram, you would have seen the killer whale. So when I'm in Fig Foz, I'll give you a shout. I've hit another milestone today. I have come to the end of the charts. So as you can see, coming down the coast of Portugal, I now get out the next section. I think this will be the last chart plot on this one before I change. Just saw a fin behind the boat. I couldn't tell if it was a dolphin or a killer whale. Literally, as I turned and looked at the back, it come up and went down. It's back there. It's a dolphin. Thank God for that.
I'm going to leave this one here, guys, but the next episode you're going to love. So I get to see those dolphins that come to the boat, and also something a little bit bigger, which I didn't want to see. Thank you so much for watching, and if you are enjoying these episodes, please subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and you can see when I post next.